Howdy. Howdy, partner. I don't know why I'm saying howdy. Hi. Hey, guys. Welcome back to Safe Space with Kira Graves. I am your host, Kira Graves, and this is a safe space, okay? Now, I want to specify on what I mean by safe space. A safe space is a place where you feel held, comforted, and you feel like you're able to express both your light and your dark sides. I think that sometimes we can get safe space mixed up with a very, sometimes corporate view of what that means. And sometimes that means only the positive, only the happy things. But in this safe space, I want you to feel safe enough to open yourselves up to your darkness, your anxieties, your fears, looking at all of you, not just your light, but also your darkness, because there's always a duality, a polarity to things and to us as human beings. And we should never forget and try and push away that dark side, because sometimes it's where our strength lies. Sometimes it's where creativity comes from, where our light can actually shine through in the darkness. That's what this podcast is about. This is about my own self-healing journey and how I've been able to create a safe space for myself to feel everything and heal everything inside my mind. This safe space originates in my mind and in my body, and feeling like I am happy and comfortable to live in my body, because a lot of people don't. And this space is open to you as well. And I hope that by me sharing my safe space within myself, you can also hold that safe space for yourself inside your own mind. So this is where the two safe spaces meet, the meeting ground of the safe spaces. Today, I want to talk about productivity. I've always been a go, go, go person. I've always been feeling like I need to do more, I need to be more, that I'm just not enough and I'm not doing enough to achieve my goals and to live the life that I want to live. So I used to live my life by every free moment I have thinking about what can I do next to, like, you know, what piece of content can I make? I'm a content creator and an actor as well. So I create my own schedule, I create my own workflow. Like, it's all up to me. No one's creating a schedule for me. So it's up to me to create that schedule. And so when I, first got out of high school and started doing this full time, I didn't really know how to have balance in my life. I was like, okay, since everyone else is working a 9 to 5, I have to put myself in that schedule too. So from the moment I wake up, I have to be doing something productive. I have to plan and I'm using air quotes, productive. I have to have a productive day. And if I don't feel like I have had a productive enough day, I used to get really down on myself. And sometimes I still do. I'm working on this. I get really down on myself and depressed. I'm not putting in the work to make my dreams and goals a reality. So what the fuck am I doing? And I would just get really, really down, especially when I would have, I would go through bouts of depression and I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to even do anything fun, anything creative. I just wanted to lay around because I felt like life was pointless. And I honestly feel like my go, go, go attitude led to that. It led to a bit of a burnout. And I think a lot of you can relate to the feeling of burnout, just feeling exhausted 24/7 and not even having the energy to do the things that you want to do because you're focusing all your energy on trying to make money so that you can live in this society, because this society is so hard on us. It really is. In a perfect world, I feel like we wouldn't have to work this hard to make the money to live to live, to have our basic necessities met. I feel like it's a little bit fucked up and twisted that we do have to live this way, but we can't change that. We can just try to navigate it on our own, and it's hard. It's hard to navigate that. Like every day I think to myself, not every day, but some days I'm like, what is the point of all this? And I feel like my spirituality, my connection to my self and my, the higher power that governs us all has really helped with that, because I've found my purpose in that. And I don't feel like I'm just chasing, the next paycheck to pay my bills to be able to live and eat and like have heat in my apartment. And I feel like everyone has a deeper mission on this earth. I believe that our souls incarnate at this time because we choose to incarnate. And we have a mission. And I don't think that anyone's life is pointless. I think that we're all like specially designed and aligned to be here on this earth right now. And that's our choice. And that was our choice at the beginning of all this. Our soul knew what we were going to get into by agreeing to come to this earth into a human body and to navigate this human body and like this human experience. Whoa, that was a tangent. So going back to productivity, I found myself being burnt out a lot and depressed a lot more because I just never felt like what I was doing was enough. And I think I was also doing some things out of fear. I think I was doing certain things throughout the day out of fear of losing money or fear of not getting money, fear of not surviving kind of thing. And like that is a very real fear and in all of us, I think. I think that's just like a human experience thing. Lately, I've been pondering on the idea of doing less, and in turn, that reaps more reward than doing more. I feel like I've learned to be more. Being versus doing. Being versus doing. So whatever I do, whatever I decide to do, it comes from an aligned place. So I'll tell you like kind of how I got into that mindset. On my healing journey, as a lot of you probably know, I've dealt with a lot of mental illness, a lot of mental health issues, and it really took over my life. And I felt like I wasn't able to like live my fullest life. And I was searching for healing so hard. Like I just wanted to have peace because of all of the chaos in my mind. So I started doing a lot of healing modalities, which I will talk about in future podcast episodes. One of the things that I have realized that actually makes me more inspired and creative is rest. Rejuvenation, taking time to just chill. And this could come in the form of self-care. But again, I want to redefine what self-care is because I feel like in a lot of ways, self-care has become misconstrued, the meaning of it, the definition. Self-care to me is like nourishing my inner self, my like vibrational being, not this physical human body necessarily, but my soul, my spirit, if you will. So, for some people that could look like taking care of their physical body because that also reflects the inner body. The inner and the outer body are so closely attached, like they reflect each other. So yeah, doing things with your physical body can be self-care and it can be beneficial to your inner self as well. But it's not solely that. My life is still pretty much governed by my own schedule, other than when I'm on set. As I said, I'm an actor. So when you're on set, obviously you have to go there at your call time and stay until you're finished your work day. So those days I can't really I don't have as much flexibility with, but when I'm just creating content online, I have a lot of flexibility with my day. And I am allowing myself to just relax, like truly, truly, truly relax. And when I first started doing this, my critical mind would pop in and be like, why are you just sitting on your ass? Why aren't you doing anything quote unquote productive? Like, why aren't you creating a piece of content? Why aren't you making a TikTok? Why aren't you, posting on Instagram? What are you doing with your life if you're not posting on Instagram? But I just kept doing it. I just kept doing self-care more and more and more and more. And it was my New Year's resolution for the past couple years was to integrate a self-care routine into my daily routine. So I think probably about like 2 years ago, I was doing self-care stuff, but I was only doing it sometimes, Like only when I felt really, really drained, then I would be like, okay, fine, I'll do a self-care activity. And even during the self-care activity, I'd be like, I could be doing something better than this. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of us have that like critical mind come in when we do self-care. Like I said, it's been a New Year's resolution, if you will, for the past couple of years to integrate it into my everyday life. And I actually did it. Starting probably last year, I didn't do it every day, but like every couple days. After my whole like COVID mental breakdown situation that I talked about in episode 1, I realized how important taking care of your mental health and your inner being is, and how I needed to do it if I was gonna like actually thrive in my life, like actually live my life fully. So I was like, okay, this is literally non-negotiable. I have to do this every day. So last year I started doing it almost every day, whether that would be, and this could look like a lot of things: meditation, yoga, exercise, going on a walk, reading a book. I read a lot of self-help books and mindset books. Even just like having a deep conversation with my partner or a friend about how I'm feeling. That's self-care too. It's so much easier when you have someone else to like bounce ideas back and forth with, so it's not just like in your head. If you can find a friend that is willing to hold the space for you to do that, like that is so important and so special. Self-care can look a lot different to different people. And since I am a very like spiritual being, I like connecting to my spirituality is a way that I do work on my mental health. So that's what I have been doing. And it really, really helps my life. And it helps my outer life, like my external circumstances, because one of the laws of the universe is whatever you focus on grows, and whatever you put out there comes back to you. So if you're spending more time taking care of yourself, you're going to see you're going to see the benefits of that and the rewards of that in your life in every way. You're going to see that people react to you differently. People maybe are kinder to you, more empathetic to you, because you're more empathetic to yourself. How you treat yourself is also how people treat you. So your external world can be a really good reflection and mirror to how you're doing internally. And once I started doing this more often, my external world changes. Every day, you can choose to look at your life through a different lens, and you can choose that for yourself. This is a choice, and cultivating this like everyday moment of self-care shows, it reflects in your life. This year, I again had the same New Year's resolution sort of thing, but it was to do it every single day. And it's February 9th right now. So, we're about a month into the new year. And I have been doing at least one, but usually more than one self-care activity every day. And holy shit, has it changed my life. My mental state is not chaotic anymore. It gets like it sometimes, but my default state is peaceful and calm. So that now that I know that that's my default state and that's what I want my default state to be, whenever I do feel that I'm a little bit off, I know that I can do something about it, you know? So I'll give you an example. Today, I woke up and had this like weird sense of dread, like a pit in my stomach, like a fear. And I do think it had to do with the dream I had last night, and it had to do with like losing my partner in a way. And I woke up with so much fear about my partner and being like, oh my God, did they get to work okay? Like, what if I lost them today and like my whole life, you know, was changed? And it made me sick to my stomach. It made me feel ill. And I noticed that because I've been practicing being aware of my state at all times. And I was like, ooh, I don't want to bring this energy into today. Into today. And I could have, because it's easy to, right? You feel the fear and you're like, oh, this must be true. So I'm going to like keep panicking about it. But that's counterproductive. Here we go, back to the word of productive. And so I woke up and I decided to listen to some affirmations on YouTube. There's this really great account, actually two great accounts that I listen to, LAVREN and Jess Heslop. They both have really, really great affirmation videos that you can listen to in the morning, at night, during the day, whenever you want a little like reset, a little reminder that like, oh, I am safe. I am enough. Affirmations are like little reminders because deep down you do know that it's true. Your soul knows that it's true, but your ego can like fight against it because it wants to stay in control, right? So anyways, I did a LAVREN affirmation video, a few actually, and I did some journaling and realized, okay, that was just my fear trying to get inside my head and take over. And the more you give into that fear, the more it grows. It's like you give it energy. It's almost like a parasite in a way. If you feed it with your energy, it will get stronger and bigger. I'm just like picturing a little bug. But if you acknowledge it, be like, okay, this is trying to get my attention, and decide, actually, no, I don't want to entertain this right now, it loses power. You'll see that it loses power. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool how it works. Me journaling and deciding how I wanted to feel during my day really helped my day. And look at what I'm doing right now. I'm recording a podcast episode. I've felt a little bit in a creative rut lately, and I'm like, oh, I don't know like what to talk about next. I'm kind of just letting the topics flow as I think about them or as they come to me. And so I got the idea to do this podcast about productivity today and like what it means to me and how I want to redefine it. Yeah, self-care is like the most productive thing you can fucking do with your life, in my humble opinion. Because as you nurture your relationship with yourself, your relationship with others, your relationship with your life just gets better and better and better. If you are burnt out and you need to take a day off from work, fucking do it. I remember like last week, my partner was like getting really burnt out and like really overwhelmed with, you know, work and their mental state and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, oh, I should take a day off from work, but I feel bad because like, you know, oh, is it dishonest to take a day off from work for myself? No, actually, that's a good reason. And I hope that most places of work accept that as a valid reason, like a mental health day off. You know what? I think that places of work should look at it like this. If someone is using that as a reason, there's a reason for that. Like, you know, they could just call in sick and go off and go to a concert. But if you're needing to call in sick from work, like there is a reason for that. And I think obviously getting into the habit of doing that a lot could reflect negatively on your work ethic if you just don't want to do it. But you know what? If that does happen, look at it in a way that like that job is not aligned with you. If you're like really fucking tired and burnt out at work, think about why you're in it other than the money. Because money shouldn't be like the sole reason for you to stay in something. And obviously you need to make some sort of income, but there are a lot of things that you could be doing, a lot of different jobs that might be less of a workload on you and might be less stressful. So just consider, like, if you're in a job like this and you do find yourself needing to take mental health days a lot or like sick days off a lot, really like reflect on, is this job aligned with me? Is this job benefiting me in any way other than just the money? Because as we all know, money does not buy true joy, peace, and contentment. And if you're doing a job that is taking too much of your energy, that you can't actually do self-care and you can't actually incorporate that into your life, then I don't know, ponder that. And a lot of people also say that they don't have time to do self-care. I do realize that I'm very privileged that I get to create my own schedule so I can kind of do self-care whenever I want to. I can choose that. But you know, when people are like, well, I just simply don't have time, that's a perspective and that's a position that you are taking. But you can choose to create time, whether that's waking up a little bit early and doing that, or maybe it is getting another job or, you know, changing your life path a little bit. And change is scary. But once you actually make the steps to do it, you'll realize how grateful you are that you did make the change. So to kind of wrap this up, I hope that this personal diary also reflects out to you. Because usually what one person is going through, more times than not, there's a lot of other people actually experiencing what you're experiencing as well. So that's why I created this podcast, to talk about like how I'm navigating life and how I'm finding more peace and common fulfillment in my life, and in hopes that it helps you. So wrapping this all up is that I found that taking time to relax, taking time out to cultivate my relationship with myself has really, really shown to be more productive than pushing myself in a go, go, go mood, feeling like I need to keep doing things out of fear, ultimately realizing that I feel like I'm not doing enough. Let me just reassure you, you are doing enough. You have enough. And you are enough as a human being. You just existing is fucking enough. Being is enough. You don't have to keep doing. My suggestion to you is to find more time to be, whether that's, you know, taking a walk in nature, taking a nap, reading a book, playing with your pet. Practice being. And I know it's really hard to just be, like to just like exist, because the ego wants you to feel like you need to keep doing. And I am still sometimes in that mindset. Sometimes I get in that mindset with self-care activities. I'm like, I need to do more self-care. But again, that comes from fear. That's like, oh, if you don't do this, then something bad's gonna happen. So I'm like, okay, what does like my soul need right now? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself what your soul needs, not what you should do, because should is like literally needs to be taken out of the dictionary. But what you could do, what you choose to do to make yourself feel a little bit more peaceful, a little bit more calm. Ask yourself that. I don't have that answer. You have that answer. Before moving on to the next task that you have to do in your day, I challenge you to sit in silence for 5 minutes and just wait until the 5 minutes is over, but try not to do or think. I challenge you to just try not to think. And if you do think, that's okay. And if you catch yourself thinking, that's really good. That's a big step. If you do catch yourself thinking, because then you can be like, oh, wait, I'm not supposed to be thinking right now. Okay. And if it just helps to like look at your surroundings, feel what your body feels like, just be for the next 5 minutes. And you could even ask yourself, what is the next best move for me to do in my day? If that is to take a break from your work, do it. If that is like to take a nap, fucking do it. If that is to punch a pillow, do it. I hope that your next 5 minutes are a beautiful 5 minutes. And if they're not, that's okay too, because you did it. You tried. You tried, and trying is like enough. You know, intention is enough. I leave you with that message today. Being is enough. Being you and existing is enough. I love you so, so, so much, and I will see you next week. Mwah.